Many Jamaican men are heavy smokers of marijuana. Do you believe the practice is a form of escapism or just for relaxation?
Marijuana is so many things. All right, so weed and ganja, Mary Jane. I in another capacity at the university, I teach medical students about cannabis, and I find that to be a very important role. Nobody misses that class because all of them want to know, about this thing. I do other substances too, but we have to recognize that cannabis, there are two components to it, and without a doubt, hands down, there are definitely medicinal applications for it, significant benefits that can be had. But and that's from the cannabidiol component, which relates to our natural endocannabinoid system. And I think I saw one of your other guests going into the endocannabinoid system. But it is a very unique system, just to relate that whereas neurotransmission, one neuron to the other usually goes from the presynaptic neuron to the next one, the endocannabinoid system, the neuron actually feedback on itself. So it auto-regulate, right? And that is why certain disorders, you find that it is a good regulator. So like seizures and like bipolar disorder and tic disorders, like the constant moving. Or like, the kids that, like autism, where you see they're rocking and so forth. That's why the cannabidiol component can be helpful. Parkinson's is where the shuffling gait and all that. But you also have the THC component, which without a doubt has been linked to the emergence or the worsening of psychosis, especially if you have a family history or a strong family history of psychosis in your family or propensity towards it, especially if you have trauma history, unresolved stressors. So, when you say a lot of men, and let me tell you, a lot of women, equal rights, a lot of women are engaging in their good cali weed too, as escapism. There is no question, because it also enhances our spirituality. And for especially persons who might be seeking or might be trying to find some sense of identity, they may also gravitate towards it. Unfortunately too, Emily, in our society, people engage in substance use when they don't have anything else to engage in. So one of my little mantras is the power of play. To solve a lot of our issues, we just need to get our people playing and enable play. And if they're not playing in constructive ways, they may escape through the substance use or through cannabis use. And even though it might not affect everyone the same way, and especially because it might not affect everyone the same way, we have to be very cautious, particularly for our young, growing children. It's a different effect when a 12-year-old smokes versus an 18-year-old versus a 25-year-old versus a 65-year-old, primarily because of the difference in where the stage of growth of the brain is. And so, we have to recognize that there are significant benefits, but we have to be cautious about it. And if that is the route that persons are going to use to escape and deal with their issues, I would hope that they are educated and aware of themselves and the actual effect of the use of the substance.
Well, let me hear you say mountain, mountain.